tournament town, where anything can happen.
She gets it to Harden. That's for the win. It's over! Harden wins it!
Notre Dame crashing the ACC party in a big way this season.
That 3-0, baby!
And oh my, what a tournament it's been.
Stop her down the floor. Defense wins championships.
Where under the bright lights, stars shine.
It's Amore time. Brooks right to the basket. She had no doubt where she wanted to go. Hidalgo with the magical move.
It's anyone's game.
Put your big girl drawers on and let's go.
Oh, baby.
This is the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament Semifinal.
Westmore and NC State have arrived. The Wolfpack looking for their 6th semifinal appearance in 7 years. The last time they were in the ACC championship was 2022. Can they get the job done against Florida State? Let's take a look at the updated bracket because they'll be playing in the second game of our doubleheader right here in Greensboro. Westmore and NC State, they got here by way of beating beating Duke yesterday. Virginia Tech right now down by 10 at halftime. Remember, the last time Florida State and NC State played, January 4th, NC State rang in the new year with a matchup against the Seminoles. 4 quarters, not enough for this back and forth affair. NC State opened up overtime with just their second three-pointer of the game to take a 77-74 lead and then hit its third of the evening. Just 48 seconds later, the Wolfpack iced the contest, making 6 of 8 free throw attempts over the final 2:16 of play. NC State winning that game by 8 points. So knowing that this game went into overtime the last time the two played, what do you feel is the key in this matchup, Kelly, for this game?
Well, this was one of the best games of the regular season between NC State and Florida State. It was a great game. I think the key is inside, those bigs. River Baldwin played maybe her best game of the season, took 5 charges in this first matchup, and then Michaela Timpson had 6 blocks. So both were excellent. This is going to be an exciting matchup inside, Coach. I know you love the battle of the bigs.
Well, and Baldwin's a tough matchup for Timpson, even though she's a great shot blocker. Baldwin just has a little more size, and Timpson's just going to be lost behind her. So if they can get the ball inside, I think you're right. Both teams have great guards.
Y'all like the battle of the bigs. I like the battle of the guards. I mean, you got Latson and then you got Isaiah James, 2 of the best guards in the ACC going at it. We're going to see who's going to will that team to a victory.
2 tickets on the line today. Cannot wait. That is the second game of our doubleheader. Of course, make sure you stay with us throughout the day because we're going to be right here, right by courtside. Nothing but that post-game coverage. So let's flash back because we have game 2 taking place. Sanaya Rivers, she's looking to have a big performance today, taking on Florida State. There's going to be a lot of defense in this. One of the top defensive teams on this end for NC State. And then on Florida State's side, you have one of the best-paced teams. Up and down they go. That is Brooke Wyckoff. But let's take a look at ways that these two teams played the last time they met up. That was on January 4th. And man, they ran in the new year with an exciting matchup. 4 quarters, not enough. A back-and-forth affair. NC State opened up overtime with just its second three-pointer of the game to take a 77-74 lead, and then hit its third of the evening with 48 seconds later. The Wolfpack iced the contest by making 6 of its 8 free throw attempts for over a final 2:16 play, and they won 88-80. And then you here have another big-time matchup, so they get a chance to meet again. What are the big takeaways? What are we honing in on in this matchup, Coach?
Well, the guard play, obviously. We've got so many good guards. And to me, the game depends on Sarah Bigetti. If she can stay in her lane and not try to take over offensively, just do your job, be a great defender, be a facilitator on offense, take some pressure off people, but let's get the ball to somebody else.
Coach, you're right. The guards in this game, there's quite a few good ones on both sides. Bigetti and Latson for Florida State, as well as Omaria Gordon, who's played really well. Rivers, Zoe Brooks, and Isaiah James, who we love. Madison Hayes. A lot of different scores, a lot of different guards that can fill it up. So when I look at the post matchup, I look at River Baldwin and Michaela Timpson. Those two battled it out. That game in January was a great game, one of the best of the regular season. Baldwin took 5 charges. Timpson had 6 blocks. Which one of those 2 players can win that matchup? I think that is going to be a big key in this
Coach,
game.
I agree big time with Bigetti. I mean, she's that defensive stopper. That's how she gets her points. Once she does great on defense, get out and get your layups and things like that. Because you got Latson and you got OMG, who has been balling ballin'. I mean, now you got to put on a scout report because she's taking the pressure off the other guards. And Timpson with those 18 rebounds last night, I mean, amazing. Like you said, you know what, guys, when you think about it, it's going to be a battle of the bigs and the guards. It's going to be a battle of the whole team.
It's a battle of the players. There it is.
OMG coming off a career-high 24 points. Coach, when you're playing a team like this, we know how NC State loves to hone in on defense. Were you concerned with the grit, grinded-out game against Duke that they may have some fatigue issues because FSU likes to run up and down?
Well, and FSU has had 2 games, so I think they're probably pretty even in terms of the fatigue. If I was West, I'd be worried about those free throws, 7 for 22 from the line. And I think here's what happens. When you play Duke, they are such a great defensive team. They got to the free throw line. They were wide open, and they were like, is someone going to run at me? Maybe they were panicking a little bit. So if they can make their free throws, I think that's going to be a good start for them.
Well, Coach, you bring up law of averages. Look, NC State is not shooting 7 of 20 again from the free throw line. It's just not happening. And here's the big difference in this game. First of all, Florida State has played an extra game. I think that matters a little bit. Yes, NC State had to grind it out with Duke, and I get that. But this is by far the best defensive team Florida State has played in this tournament, and perhaps in a while. Florida State had a little bit of an easier stretch to finish the season. So NC State has to win this game with their defense. Of course, they have to make timely shots, and they've got to shoot it better than they did against Duke. But they have to set the tone defensively, and I expect Sanaya Rivers to be able to guard Tania Latson, make it tougher for her. Now, look, you can't contain Tania Latson, but you got to keep her under 30. That's number one. And then they have to find, I know, they have to find a way to slow down at least one of those FSU guards, maybe 2 of them. If Latson gets hers, at least do not let Gordon or Bajetti get theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. Sanaya Rivers, she pretty much runs the defense. She's a long, athletic guard. But the thing I'm liking about her now, she's actually scoring.
Yeah.
Now she's on a scouting report said, hey, watch her scoring. She loves that pull-up jump shot right there from the elbow, and that really gets her going. Once she gets going on the offensive end, now she's playing really aggressive defense because she know now, hey, you guys got to guard me, but I got to guard you too.
Well, you know, Tania Latson, we know she's a great driver, and Florida State loves to drive, and that's why River Baldwin took 5 charges. She's going to be standing in there waiting for somebody to drive, so they're going to have to hit some threes.
But, Coach, you know this too, from a coaching perspective, from a scout perspective. The first time Baldwin takes a charge, Brooke Wyckoff, we love her, is going to lose her mind. Like, number 1 on this scout is River Baldwin, the big girl. She wants to sit there and take charges. You have to not let her get position. You've got a Euro around her. You've got to stop and pop. Take the floater. Take the mid-range. Do not do that, because the thing with the charge is that means Latson picks up a foul.
Yeah.
And Latson got in foul trouble in this tournament as well. So I promise you, watch for that first charge. If Baldwin takes a charge early, Coach Wyckoff is not going to be happy.
Something to keep an eye on. NC State in their 6th semifinal appearance in 7 years experience. Let's see how it all shakes out. Coming up, we're going to hear from Notre Dame star Maddie Westbeld. She had 18 points and 5 rebounds. The Fighting Irish back in the finals for the first time since 2019. She'll join us on the desk in minutes. Stick around.
She looks mean.
Baby Flash is in the building. Tania Latson leading the team, 21.4 points per game. Will she be able to do it and get FSU into the championship? They're taking on a very experienced NC State game. We'll preview more of that matchup less than 16 minutes away from tip. Game 2, semifinal Saturday. Stick with us.
People say I coach basketball. I like to say I coach people. I've been coaching probably the last 8 to 10 years. That ball has got to be strong in your hand. Boom. You got to hold it strong, then I'm going up strong.
Quicker.
Teach a young lady the game and she can grow from there.
Good.
That's what Coach Al did for me. She taught me the game all over again.
Maybe the best player in the ACC this year is someone who doesn't show up on TV very often. Her name is Andrea Stinson.
She brought me and Rhonda Mapp, who were a duo in AAU, that when Rhonda got the rebound, boom, I took off running.
They play the game so fast they deserve their own definition.
She wanted to change the concept of women's basketball and make it a faster game.
Quickly, the Pack are running.
She was able to allow me as a player to play the type of game that she knew I could play within her system.
We were very fundamentally sound, and we had some really great seasons. Won an ACC championship in 1991.
The Wolfpack of North Carolina State has won.
Of all the years I've ever coached, 1991 was a year that I really had the most talented team to ever play at NC State.
Legend in every right. All right, ladies, it's time for our daily trivia question from our researcher, Jenny. Who has the best win percentage as a head coach in the ACC tournament? Minimum 20 games.
I'm going to go with C.
I'm going to go with E, Silvio Hatcher.
This is really tough because I would coach, oh man, but I think Gail Gustencourt, because she won 4 in a row, and I don't think she coached that long in the ACC tournament.
Are those your final answers,
Why would
ladies?
Oh, come on.
Yep, it's Gail.
Yo,
It is
no,
26.
I think,
Jenny,
no,
man.
Jenny tells her the answer.
Yes, she does.
I do not care.
It's a 26-10
Sorry,
record.
Coach.
With that being said, if we had said a minimum 15 games,
It would be Coach.
our lovely Coach Muffin
The minimum
McGraw
20 games,
would
that's
have
what
had the
I
best
figured.
win
Yeah.
percentage.
No. I didn't think she coached that many games in the ACC.
I got a pretty
it's
good
okay.
percentage.
maybe Jenny and Kelly have been cheating. We don't
They
know.
have.
Westmore's 11th season as the NC State head coach. They're taking on FSU less than 11 minutes away. And NC State, they certainly have had a roller coaster of a season. Let's show you how they got here. They started the season going 14-0 and went undefeated 12-0 in non-conference play. Then in January, they had a 3-game stretch where they lost 2 games on the road against Virginia Tech and Miami. But they found their stride in late January into February, where they won 5 straight and went 2-0 against AP-ranked teams. Remember, when NC State started this season, they were projected to finish 8th in the ACC, now a top 4 team. And then to end the regular season, they struggled a bit, going 5-3 and suffering their first home loss of the season to Virginia Tech. We know this is a very experienced NC State team looking for their 6th or part of their 4th championship in 5 years. Coach, when you have games like this, an experienced coach, how much does that factor into the equation?
Well, I think the coach has the most experience. I'm not sure a lot of these players were really a big part of what they've done in the past. So, but having that experience from your head coach, I think, is really important, because this is a team that's been through a lot. They've had a chip on their shoulder all year long, and now they got another goal. We didn't win the regular season. Let's see what we can do in the tournament.
Well, Westmore definitely has more experience in this situation than Brooke Wyckoff does as a head coach. So you have that factor as well. But for the players, there really isn't a big difference. Isaiah James was on that most recent title team. She was a freshman, did not play much, but she at least experienced that. And I think there is something to be said for that with Isaiah James. But overall, these two teams are pretty fresh in terms of experience in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. They both fresh, and this is our time to see Latson in March. This is one of her first ACC tournaments. So, far as experience in coaching, yeah, but when it gets down, the coaches can only do so much. They have to put the players out there and let them go play. And so we'll see how that's going to turn out.
One thing we can't deny is the improvements that have been made by the Wolfpack. Everyone has improved their averages across the board, and it all starts up top with Isaiah James. Look at this stat, ladies. NC State, the improvements from last year. Isaiah James, plus 8.8 more points. Look at that. 5 players who've increased their scoring average by at least 4 points per game from last season this year, Kelly, and I know you love the top of that pack, James.
I do. She was my vote for most improved player in the ACC because of how she's impacted her team with her improvements. And one thing that she does that's so tremendous is that she's able to create space. Look at this crossover. She has the BC players so confused. This BC player is running the other direction. Isaiah James is able to create that space, and she is a very good 3-point shooter. Knocks it down, makes them pay, keeps the defense on their toes in the ball screen. And then on this situation, also keeps the defense on their toes in the ball screen. Decides to reject it. The defense is not ready for her to attack. Help side tries to get over there, but Isaiah James with great vision and athleticism, Euro in the lane, and finish with the left hand. So I love Isaiah James's game. The way she can shoot it and put it on the floor, it's very, very difficult to stop. And like I said, she was on the last tournament title team. She didn't play. She's sitting there watching her team win, thinking one day I want to do that. And now she has her chance.
It really counts being in the arena and understanding what it's going to be like. And of course, for NC State, it's the home game. I mean, they got their fans with them. So I think they're going to feel really good about this game.
Definitely, like I've been saying from day one, Isaiah James is coming in here with a chip on her shoulder. She felt as if that was her award, her improvements. what we said, the unseen hours, the work that she put in the off season for her to come in this season and just show out. So yeah, she has this big chip on her shirt. If I was her, I would too.
And how about the way that her leadership has improved? Yesterday, what she told Zoe Brooks, hey, it's time for you as a freshman to put your big girl draws on.
Well, first of all, she's been hanging around Westmore too much, because that is a Westmore-ish saying, that's for sure. But yeah, her leadership is a big part of this team. I think so is Madison Hayes with her leadership, River Baldwin. A lot of these players do not have the experience of winning an ACC title, but they are very experienced players. Madison Hayes was also on that last title team but didn't play much. And there's also the factor here, guys, of River Baldwin, who started her career at Florida State, is now at NC State, played probably her best game of the season against Florida State in their first matchup. So let's see what River Baldwin can do in this one.
You know, there's something to be said. They really are playing 6 people, and how you can gel as a team. You've played with everybody on. There's no lineup that you haven't played with. So I think that's a real advantage, even though Florida State may have a little more off the bench.
Yeah, you look at this. This is a game between one of the better defenses in the league with NC State and one of the best scoring offenses with Florida State. So, Coach, let's take some office hours and talk about this guard play for the Seminoles.
Let's go to school. We could do a little driver's ed today. You know, we're not even in the big city, but driver's ed is always something that we want to talk about. So we're going to talk about Florida State and their guards and how they can drive the ball. The first thing you look at is acceleration. Don't be going as fast when you're in the car, but look at the difference right here. The defense actually is a little bit ahead, but Bajetti just turns on the jets and she beats them right to the rim. That's what you got to watch for. Weaving through traffic, not a good idea in the car, but watch Lotson go to work. She's got 4 defenders. She can decide where she wants to go. She's got a 3-point shooter coming down. She's just going to go right in between. She is so good at getting to the rim. Merging traffic, put that traffic light on. You got to get your turn signal on here. We got a good defensive play. We're coming down the floor. Look at that speed. Omaria Gordon, such great speed. She's got to get back to the rim. Amor's going to get through, and she's able to finish. This is a team that has tremendous speed. They love to play with pace.
Coach, I don't want to go to school on a Saturday, but I appreciate your tape there, and that's exactly what Florida State does. They have great team speed. They want to get up and down, and they're going to try to set the tone early against NC State. NC State is a great defensive team, especially in the half court. If you're Florida State, you don't want to let them be able to set their defense in the half court.
I would love to get those shoes that Omaria had.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where you can get those. They have to be exclusive. She dropped a game-high 24 points. Would you like to see Michaela Timpson get some more touches? Because at times where they're going up and down, it feels like the best way for her to get the ball is off offensive rebounds. Remember, back-to-back games for her, she's had a double-double.
I think it's kind of a trick question, because if Timpson's getting more touches, that means Florida State's maybe playing slower, and they don't want to play slow. They want to get up and down, and Timpson is the best floor runner at the post position in the conference, for sure. She can get up and down. But I think Timpson, yes, some touches, mainly rebounding for her, and she's got to do a good job on River Baldwin and not get in foul trouble.
All right, ladies, it's time for our picks. This is a tough matchup, and I'm putting my undefeated record on the line. But I'm going to start with you, Coach. NC State versus FSU. Who are you going with and why?
I'll tell you, you're right. This is a really tough pick. I'm going to go with Florida State. They've just looked so loose on offense. The only team that's come in here and just played their game and put some points on the board.
I'm going with defense, experience, and the red in the building. I'm going with NC State.
I'm going with FSU because I'm going with offense, and more offense, because they like to get up and down with that fast break.
I'm sorry, Kelly, you're in the minority. I'm going with FSU as well. I love Tania Latson, the way that this team is playing right now. This is her first time playing the ACC tournament. Everyone is excited. Let's see. Winner takes on Notre Dame. A few minutes away. Pam, Debbie, and Angel on the call. Game 2, semifinal Saturday. Stick with us.
Welcome to the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament. It is our second semifinal of the day. To see who will play in the championship game tomorrow afternoon at 1 Eastern Time. Number 6 seed Florida State, who upset Syracuse last night, getting ready to take on the Wolfpack of NC State. Our first semifinal game between Notre Dame and Virginia Tech was not close. The Big Three, led by Maddie Westfeld, 29-point victory, biggest win by against the number 1 seed in ACC tournament history. No Elizabeth Kitley for that game, as we await an update on her health. So Notre Dame, the number 4 seed, is through to take on the winner of this one. And we welcome you to Greensboro. Great crowd on hand here, all excited for this matchup. They played an overtime game earlier this year. Pam Moore, Deb Antonelli, Angel Gray with us. And if you like fast-paced basketball, this is the game for you.
I like it, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Both these teams can score in the open floor, and I think this is going to be a transition game. That's the way Florida State likes to play. NC State would like to get it in a quarter-court possession defensively if they can, but both teams can open up the court with their offensive balance.
And Isaiah James, boy, one of the most improved players in the country, not just in this league this year, really helps fuel State.
I mean, she's been the leader on a team that has great offensive balance, and she's creative and crafty with the ball in her hands. Look at that step back from 3, and then she can create space and separation off the bounce in the middle third. But she can put you in a box defensively, and she has the ability to score in a variety of ways, which really fuels NC State and gets them going offensively.
First-year starter as a junior, and she has career highs across the board. Finished second to Leah Tu King from Pitt for most improved player. Florida State, quite a story just to be in the semifinal. Let's head over to Angel Gray.
Yeah, ladies, well, Coach Wyckoff hoping that today she'll get the version of her team that she saw last night. The pace, the disciplined defense, but most importantly, the balance that they saw on the offensive end, really coming down to their big 3, starting with Taniyah Latson. This is her first trip to the ACC tournament, and she's putting on a show. She's been outstanding and just has a sense of what she needs to do for this team. Second half, she just came alive, showing everyone what she could do after having foul trouble. And on the other end as well, Armaria Gordon, OMG they called her, her career high 24 points. Michaela Timpson, back-to-back double-doubles in this tournament. That's 2 players that's on the first team in the ACC with Taniyah Latson and Michaela Timpson. But Armaria Gordon, they believe that she is the X factor. She was unbelievable in their game yesterday. We'll see if they can carry over that balance today.
Career high in scoring, as you mentioned, for OMG, 24 points. Timpson with the career high 18 rebounds as well. And as you mentioned, back-to-back double-doubles. Here is Taniyah Latson. Was the freshman of the year last year, national freshman of the year, but could not play in this tournament, got hurt late in the regular season. Timpson with the miss, and here comes Sanaya Rivers, who leads this NC State offense up the court.
5 players in double figures for the Wolfpack, and they've got to show that balance tonight.
It'll be a good matchup with Baldwin and Timpson inside. Sarah Bajetti cheating over a little bit. River uses her left hand, and Snoop Turnage gets the first rebound.
You're going to need pump fakes, ball fakes against a shot blocker, Timpson inside. She is too good on the defensive end.
Makes the extra pass. Latson into Timpson, but she can't finish. Mimi Collins comes up with the rebound.
Sanaya Rivers, not a natural point guard for NC State, but has certainly managed tempo for this team and is electric in the open floor.
And is a terrific defender as well. Rebound for Timpson. Maria Gordon, 5'4" junior guard, fires up her first shot.
If Florida State goes 1 pass or 0 passes in a dribble, that's not to their best offensive performance. They've got to move the ball like they did yesterday. I thought yesterday's game was one of the best games I've seen them play all year.
I agree. Baldwin, yes, and the foul.
River Baldwin at 6'5", going up against her old team, is going to get face-up position inside. She's going to show hands and numbers to the ball, and she gets the post up on the interior and then uses her frame to go around the shot blocker with an and-one opportunity.
Played 3 years at Florida State, gets the three-point play. Last foul was on Timpson. Latson with the screen from Timpson. Good look, but it rimmed out.
They like to put her in that flare situation off the horns, and she's very good at making decisions from there.
James, a little bit too strong. Latson able to get in front to get the rebound, and then a good challenge by James on the other end.
Because Isaiah James didn't let her get to her right hand. She kept her on the left side of the floor. You got to take something away. You got to take away that right hand.
Rivers with the spin, but she lost the ball. First turnover for State. Gordon got it.
Poor decision, turnover on one end, fuels the transition game of Florida State, Pam. NC State's got to take good care of the ball, take good shots on this end of the floor, because Florida State has excellent team speed.
Maddie Hayes with the miss. Gordon, the smallest player on the floor, certainly one of the fastest. Just able to stick that pivot foot. Turnage doesn't get a lot of offensive opportunities, only averaging 2.5 points a game.
You like there's no whistle so far. No whistle. One whistle. We have one whistle.
Yeah, one foul. Here's Bajetti. She's got Gordon to her left, but she takes it right to James. Sarah Bajetti, who was their best perimeter defender, a fifth-year guard out of Helsinki, Finland, played her freshman year at Arizona State and has made a home in Tallahassee since.
I think Florida State gets their energy from playing downhill. They are straight line drivers, and if you allow them to get a straight line drive, they're going to put you at a deficit on the foul count. They have the ability to get to the bonus early because of the way they push and transition.
Jetty and the rest of the Florida State Seminoles second in the league in scoring out of Notre Dame since this tournament started. That's thrown over the head of Timpson, a little miscommunication. Florida State playing its third game in as many days. They had to play and beat Wake Forest on Thursday, upset number 3 seed Syracuse yesterday. Now they have NC State, and they haven't played since Sunday. That's the luxury of the double bye, being in the top 4 during the regular season. Collins buries it.
Mimi Collins has improved her three-point shooting from 21% to 41% on the season. But she went 0 for 2 yesterday.
Yeah, they altered her release point a little bit. Still kind of a funky shot when you look at it, but the results are good when you're hitting 40%.
It's not the release, it's the way she catches the ball with one hand on the bottom and one on top. It's unique.
Gordon, I think, bothered by Baldwin, who got a hand on the second shot. James waits for some reinforcements. Collins turns, shoots, hits.
Here she goes. She is streaky. She can get hot. And she is a tough competitor on the inside for NC State. I love her work on the glass. Watson.
25 points yesterday against Syracuse in the quarters, 20 of them in the second half. Got into some foul trouble in the first half. James, there's a whistle. Foul on the play. We're going to take our first timeout.
Look at the skip right here. All the defense in the paint. Mimi Collins, the stretch 4, spotting up, and then from the short corner.
Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally. Lots of fire here on the court at Greensboro. Westmore, 3-time ACC Coach of the Year, came in second this year to Coach Jack up at Syracuse. If we take a look at some storylines, all winners have had a double bye since the format change in 2014. Florida State trying to mess that up. Lowest seed ever to win a tournament, the University of Maryland, when they were a 5 seed back in 1986 when they won in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Dina Tate, Vicky Bullitt, it was 3 years before they got to the Final Four in Tacoma. And now they're in the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State yesterday. Latson left it short. We've had 21 shots total in the first 5 minutes and change, make it 22 as James finishes.
Did Isaiah James remove the headband? Does that mean her game is on?
Yeah,
different game?
She's getting down to business now. First bucket for her. Good D. Oh, look at Mimi Collins calling for it. Turns over turnage. Baldwin able to get the rebound. Isaiah James telling River Baldwin to post up and then makes the pass over to Rivers. Watch Isaiah James. This is what you call a straight line drive. It's a straight line from one rim to the other. And Kayla Timpson has just committed her second foul for Florida State and heads to the bench. KK, as she's known, is so important to this team, averaging a double-double, 14.5 points per game, 10 rebounds, and coming off a career-high 18 yesterday against Syracuse, and she's on the bench, having not scored. Gordon, another miss. Rivers to James. Collins very confident early in this game. She is running the floor hard. She's getting great position, first post down. She beats River Baldwin down. River reverses the ball. Mimi posts up. Having perhaps the best year of her career. Bajetti missed everything from the outside. That's not a good shot. Yeah, and Bajetti can get hot, but she can also be really, really cold. You know, I think her offense gets going when she D's up. At 31 points is a career high earlier this year when she was on quite a tear and was an ACC Player of the Week. 3 straight games with career highs, but sometimes can fall in love with that 3. Well, sometimes coaches have to take the decision-making process out of the player's hands and run a play for a player like Bajetti so that she can get a shot and get the shot that Brooke wants her to take, not the shot she wants. Rivers on Gordon. Charge! Oh boy, that's not going to look good. Did she establish? All the fans here for NC State are saying OMG, but OMG drew the foul. Gordon. OMG did draw the foul. Did she obtain and establish? No, she did not. She never got there and turned around and established defensive position, and that's the rule. Samaya Rivers called for the foul. Gordon had to get it out to Bajetti. Wide open for the shot. Right. Florida State cold to start things off here today. 3 of 16 from the floor. NC State really working the inside game right now. They are scoring points in the paint. Mimi Collins and River Baldwin combining for some nice interior passing. Nice job by Baldwin to pass out of the double team. James goes around Bajetti. Timeout, Florida State. Quick timeout, NC State up 9. Westmore's team has scored the last 8 points of this game, a 13-3 run overall to go up 16-7 over Florida State, a team they beat in overtime in Raleigh in early January. Finally, Florida State's able to break through. Alexis Tucker, UC Santa Barbara transfer. I mean, just a simple screen on the elbow to create a 15-foot opportunity. Florida State playing some zone. But Mimi Collins is red hot. 11 in the first 9 minutes of this game for Collins. Tucker, same play, same set. Not overcoaching it. Good job off the timeout by Brooke Wyckoff's group. Rivers with that true jump shot. I mean, it's just a nice use of the River Baldwin screen by Sanaya Rivers to get into the rhythm of the shots that she can make, which is she's very good in the mid-range. Collins gets it over to Rivers. Latson and Timpson both on the bench right now. Timpson with the 2 personal fouls. Latson getting some rest in the remaining seconds of the first quarter. Rivers tried to get it into Baldwin, but Baldwin able to recover. Gordon picked it up, but not in time. NC State with a 22-11 lead after 1 quarter.
Mimi Collins, 11. Florida State, 11. Sanaya Rivers with a jumper. Wolfpack up after 1.
Welcome back. NC State leading Florida State by 9. This is Sanaya Latson's only bucket so far. Let's head over to Angel Gray.
Coach, NC State has a heavy emphasis on their paint points. What are you seeing your adjustments being in the second quarter?
Yeah, we've got to do a better job of initially on our post defense and then digging from the right places, okay? We got to push out. We got to be physical. It's tough in there, but we can do it.
Mimi Collins, 11 of their 20 points. How can you contain her?
Yeah, we've had some miscues with our defensive game plan, but she's a great player. We got to make sure that we're contesting all of her shots. She's gotten some easy looks.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Brooke Wyckoff, who played her ball at Florida State in her second year as their head coach. And right now, Charlie Cream has them in as an 8th seed, 6 wins against the net top 50, including a victory yesterday, big one against Syracuse. And they have won 9 of their last 11 games, losing only to Louisville and Notre Dame in double overtime. You would think they would be comfortably in. Collins, wow, what a game. James with the assist.
What great execution by NC State off the quarter break.
Collins 6 of 8 from the floor. Jetty, that's a long 3 and she hits it. Jetty averaging just under 2 threes per game. That's 10th best in the league. Also a very good perimeter defender. Zoe Brooks is in, very talented freshman, number 35. With the nice drive by James.
She's left, and she's going left, and you've got to push her back into the help. She's so quick.
Latson has 1 3, missed that one. So far in the ACC tournament between Duke and Florida State, opponents are just 2 of 20 from 3 against NC State. Did a good job last night against Duke. Florida State 2 for 8 from 3 in this one.
Look at that long reach of Sanaya Rivers that can get in the vision of Latson. Make her pass it.
Remember, she made the all-defensive team. And here she comes in transition.
Yeah, so she made a really wise choice right there. Let Zoe Brooks fill the lane.
And then the nifty move to rid herself of Bajetti.
That was a smart heads-up play by Sanaya Rivers. Good help by Collins. Coming off the quarter break, NC State does a great job of executing. Here comes the screen. She's going to come off the screen. Now watch Mimi Collins is going to roll to the bucket. Very well executed. Zoe Brooks stays in the deep corner. No help from the strong side. Nice roll down the lane line. If you roll it down the middle, then the help from the weak side can come. That's really well executed by NC State.
Collins almost outscoring Florida State by herself. Latson has found every move difficult today because of the State defense. Brooks. Snoop Turnage back into the game, grabs the rebound. Sanaya Latson out of the game. And KK Timpson's going to come back in. She's been sitting for a while with 2 fouls.
Good D by James to get over the top. Then NC State switching with their perimeter.
River Baldwin draws the charge, and only Isaiah James has drawn more on this NC State team.
I mean, you got to appreciate that River Baldwin can have a cup of coffee right here waiting on this charge, right? You have to understand all season, she's not necessarily looking to block your shot, but she's so good at reading and rotating. At 6'5", you don't see many centers that draw that many charges.
And she turns and misses. In fact, she drew 5 charges in that win against Florida State. That's when she got hurt and then missed a few games. Timpson back in the game. During that time, Florida State was outscored by 9. Latson goes out of bounds.
Lady, you talked about what Michaela Timpson on the bench right now with the 2 fouls. We're now coming back into the game. Well, it's not just what she does on the offensive end, it's how she protects the paint. The last 4 attempts for NC State have been in the paint. They're outscoring them 18-4 in that department. She usually clogs that area up.
Well, with those 3 fouls, you've got to really trust her to put her in. And if I'm NC State, I'm going right at her. She has 2 fouls.
It's at that point, right, when you're down by 12 and you're getting shoot up in the paint, put her in and hope she'll be smart. And Baldwin's got to know she is in foul trouble, took it right to her, and Timpson with the tie-up. Possession arrow points towards the Seminoles. Latson, Gordon, and Timpson, who absolutely annihilated Syracuse last night, have missed 14 of their 16 shots so far today.
You know, Syracuse as a 3 seed should be solidly in the NCAA tournament. As a matter of fact, they were being considered as a host team in the top 16, but that probably isn't going to happen now, but they're still in.
Oh, you know what? Timpson just picked up number 3.
Second team foul. Entering for the Seminoles, number 22, Sakaya White.
I'm going to call that a moving screen.
Wow, that's
a tough one.
That's a tough one to pick up your 3rd. Timpson has no points, 4 rebounds, in limited action.
I'd say if Mimi Collins still has a hot hand, I'd get her back going again.
And you see Baldwin now with a decisive height advantage over White underneath. Rivers. Here's Gordon. Stop, pop. White gets the rebound, puts it right back up. Baldwin picks up the basketball. State has missed its last 5 shots after a hot start, but Florida State can't score on the other end. Florida State shooting just 22% so far.
Well, last night in their game against Syracuse, they moved the ball. They got a piece of the paint. They reversed it. They skipped to the other side. They made the extra pass. They're taking a lot of quick shots here today.
One of their best weapons. Latson is on the bench. Another miss, this time by Rivers. Gordon, a little hesitation, then took off again to get the finish.
She might be the smallest player on the floor, but she's got incredible ball skills, and she did a really good job against Syracuse yesterday.
24 points, a new career high yesterday. She had 15 in the regular season matchup at NC State, including 3 threes. Nobody there to board it but Turnage. Gordon had not been healthy last year. Was able to work on her game in the offseason this year because there was no rehab involved, and she has shown just how talented she is. Baldwin. Short. Turnage certainly picking up the rebounding slack with Timpson out.
What happened to the scoring, Pam?
It stopped. It has been mired. State outscoring Florida State. There's 2 states. 6-5 NC State in this quarter, and then Latson shows her mobility.
You want to keep Latson on the left side of the floor, but you don't want to open up the lane so that she sees the rim. You got to layer up your defense against her because she's so quick and shifty.
Very, very talented player. That's a great look. Brooks to James on the baseline. Gordon right into the teeth of the defense.
Did she shift to the left over there? That was a nice shot.
Very skilled player.
You got to have finishing skills around the rim when you're smaller.
Yes. Rivers working on Turnage. Westmore with a call. James to Baldwin, rolls, hits.
Good job by Westmore over there. You saw how stagnant his team was. He didn't want to burn a timeout. He puts them in the horn set, which he knows they will execute.
Latson, 5 points in this game. 2.5 to go. Winner gets Notre Dame tomorrow, 1 Eastern time on ESPN. Don't forget to spring forward with your clocks so you won't be late or early depending on how that affects it. That's a travel. Mimi Collins, have yourself an afternoon. She's already over her season high in scoring. NC State leading Florida State by 10 in an ACC semifinal. Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Ally. Enter now to watch your team take home the championship in person in Notre Dame. Kylie Watson putting up the sticker, and there's Cassandra Prosper on the left from Montreal. She is hurt. Hannah Hidalgo put a hurting on everybody she's played as Notre Dame with a historic win over top seed Virginia Tech. And they will play the winner of this game tomorrow afternoon. NC State had their string of 3 straight tournament victories broken by Virginia Tech last year. James, great fake. Gordon bid on it. Mimi Collins is all over the place. She and Turnage get tied up.
Collins came ready to play. She has been active on the glass. She's been able to make herself available for shots. Westmore's dialed up her number a couple of times because she has the hot hand. Her third school started at Tennessee, a couple of years at Maryland, her home state. Zia James, no. Hayes couldn't get to the rebound. A crucial time here, right? 10-point advantage. Florida State without KK Timpson available. She is on the bench with 3 fouls. Trying to chip into this lead. Turnage couldn't come up with it. Horns has worked for them. I've liked this set. They've been able to be productive off it.
Over Turnage.
NC State in a really good rhythm offensively right now. I said at break, the 2-minute mark left in this quarter, that it could either be a 16-point lead for NC State or a 4-point deficit for Florida State. That's how important these minutes were, and NC State's taking advantage of it. Watch James right here. This is a beautiful, look how she pushes the ball out in front of her, and then she goes and gets it and gets her feet underneath her to pull into that jump shot. I love it. It's beautifully done.
Has more than doubled her points per game from last year.
Every player that stayed got better under Westmore. They're one of the best stories in the country. Picked to finish 8th in the league, finished number 2. Got ranked as high as number 3 in the country.
They went from unranked all the way into the top 10 in record time. Before the end of November, they were in the top 10.
They had 2 huge wins. As we take a look at the improvement we're talking about, this is a really nice graphic about NC State's player development in the offseason and the system that Westmore runs that allows for balance offensively.
Second game of the year, they beat UConn, and then before November was over, they took care of a Colorado team that's really good and beat LSU to start the season. Got them into the top 10. Brooks. Hayes gives them a second chance, and now they can kill the clock.
Smart.
James finishes the half in style for the Wolfpack, who hold Florida State to its fewest first-half points all season.
I said a 16-point lead. It's 15, Pam. This is just really nice by Sanaya Rivers. She draws help and puts it right in the pocket off the bounce to one of the better three-point shooters for NC State. Between James and Collins, they are cooking in the first half.
They have combined for 26 points. Florida State only has 20, shooting 26% from the floor. Let's get over to Angel.
Mimi, this is a team that looks like they're in rhythm, so connected on the offensive end. Already 2 players with double figures. You're 1 rebound away from a double-double. Describe the level of execution.
It's just we're player-led. We want this more than anything. I think that we just came in with the mindset that we're not going to lose, and our main mindset was defending and rebounding. We knew that shots were going to come. That was easy for us, but we just said defend and rebound, and that's the only mindset we have.
You're holding the second best scoring offense to 26% in the first half.
Yes.
What's worked?
Clog the paint up. We know they're drivers. We know they can shoot it really well, but the amount of lift that we have, like our point guard is 6'2", so it's like from 1 through 5, we have so much length, so it's like you're going to try to attack the paint with all these long arms. So yeah, it's kind of hard for them.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you.
It certainly has been difficult for Florida State. They're down 15 at the half, which is in the books. Time now to get you over to our Nothing But Net crew with Justin and the rest of the game.
Thanks, Pam. We've reached the midpoint of Game 2 semifinals Saturday. Welcome into this ACC Network halftime report alongside Hall of Fame coach Muffin McGraw, Kelly Gramlich, as well as Ivory Latta. I'm Justin Walters. A 15-point lead for the Wolfpack ladies. Mimi Collins has been really assertive. Already 1 rebound away from a double-double. How's she been so effective, Coach?
Well, she's come out and set the tone, just like happened in the last game. She made her first shot. That always helps shooters. They went back to her. I think the game plan was, let's go to River Baldwin and see what she can do. And then they went, wait a minute, let's go to Mimi Collins, because she's the one that's on fire.
Mimi Collins was great early, and then Isaiah James really picked it up in the second quarter. I think, NC State went from playing Duke, which didn't give them anything easy, to Florida State, who's just not the defensive team that Duke is, and they were getting good looks. The big issue for me for FSU, guys, 0 free throw attempts. NC State, with that length that Mimi's talked about, they're defending great without fouling.
Yeah, Mimi has been really big, but she's really in the space. She's not doing she's not doing more than what we usually see her do, always shooting threes. She's taking her time, taking the shots that is given to her. She's allowing her guards to bring in the defense. They kicking it back to her, and she's in rhythm with her shot. And when she's in rhythm, I mean, the sky's the limit for her.
Mimi Collins and River Baldwin having their way inside. 22-10 when it comes to points in the paint, and probably one of the reasons for that is because Michaela Timpson in foul trouble. How concerned should FSU be, Kelly, with her with 3 fouls?
Yeah, we talked about those 2 bigs and which one was going to win the matchup. Timpson with 3 fouls is a big deal because no one else for Florida State can guard River Baldwin or Mimi Collins for that matter. The other issue, too, is that NC State's rebounding the ball. They're +9 on the glass. Westmore is in many ways a Pat Summitt disciple. He knows that rebounding wins championships. His team always rebound, and we're seeing that today.
Yeah, I don't think Timpson could guard River Baldwin even when she was in the game. And it looked like game plan, maybe try to go to River Baldwin to get Timpson in foul trouble, because it worked. And she's now out of the game. But she was getting some touches early, Timpson. She wasn't able to score. So, I think they got to find the rhythm. And the thing I'm looking at is assists. Florida State's got 1.
15-point lead for the Wolfpack. They're trying to advance their way to the championship. They're going to be taking on Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, who already won the first game of our semifinal. Kylie Watson here, emotional moment. She got to punch the ticket in there on the board. She got injured in the 3rd quarter. We'll discuss more about that injury. But right now, it's our Isaiah James show. 13 points along with Mimi Collins, knocking down the 3. Sanaya Rivers dribbling inside. Knock it down, Isaiah. Okay, 15. Wolfpack. For those that are not in Greensboro, we feel sorry for you. We just witnessed greatness. I'm not sure what profession this is, but this guy is the Michael Jordan of his sport. This takes so much core strength. Everybody was in their seats. He got a standing ovation. My God, phenomenal work here. So we have one ticket punch right now into the ACC Championship tomorrow. Let's see how it all shook out. The 4 seed against the 1 seed. Virginia Tech without Liz Kidley talking to the ACC commissioner, the ACC Rookie and Defensive Player of the Year. But the Virginia Tech, they were stifled in that first half, Coach. A first half, 23 points.
You know, it's great defense by Notre Dame. They were not going to let Amor get anything. Double teamed her whenever they could.
But you know, the third quarter, everything changed. A 19-2 run, Kelly.
Sonia Citron got them going. That third quarter, Notre Dame came out and absolutely put Virginia Tech away.
Maddie Westbell, we'll hear from her shortly. She was getting busy in the inside. And then later, give me that. Out into the loop. Anna Duo knocks down the nice shot here.
Yeah, it was great. Started off with Hannah Hidalgo looking up the court, finding her teammate for the fast break.
A 29-point win. Kylie Watson does the honors here, stamping the ticket. Let's take a look at some of these because you have now Notre Dame on to the next. They'll be playing in the championship game at 1 p.m. They'll play the winner of FSU and NC State. We heard from Maddie Westbell, and she spoke about how the team is peaking at the right time.
Just coming together. You know, we had a stretch where even my coach would say we would come out with 2 different teams. And so we felt that too. It was hard to play at times, and so we had to lock in. It was more of a chemistry thing. And so it was figuring us out off the court and then rallying on the court. And we know that our identity at the beginning of the season was that we're a defensive team. We bring our fire through defense, and that starts with Hannah. And so, you know, she brings fire. Everybody sees it. And so it's just igniting that at the beginning of games and igniting everybody as a collective to play together.
Yeah, let's speak about that and pick on that point because the 19-1 run, of course, we're going to focus on the points, but it was a defense that they manipulated in their favor. Kelly, how were they so effective to open up that third quarter?
While Notre Dame's been peaking, I think their team defense has been phenomenal. And Hannah Hidalgo is the head of the snake. She applies so much ball pressure, but occasionally someone will get by her because her ball pressure is so aggressive. Then what do? Westbell's been there. Citron's been there. Kylie Watson's been blocking shots. The team defense from Notre Dame really playing around Hidalgo has been great.
You know, defense is all about the mindset. You got to believe, you got to buy in, you got to get out there and put the work in. And when you see Hannah Hidalgo at the top working like she does, it just gets you ready and everybody gets inspired.
Yeah, like you said, they've been playing great team defense, and it's so hard to say they help her because they have a hard time getting past Hannah.
Yeah.
But when they do have their helper defense, and that defense is turning into their offense because they got the caliber players that can score at will anytime.
The Fighting Irish in the championship for the first time since 2019. Let's see if they can get the job done. Make sure you stick with us all throughout the day because we're going to have post-game reaction of all the games that took place today. NC State taking on right now with a 15-point lead. Mimi Collins has been cooking up in the pot, up with 13 points, 9 rebounds already. This alone in the first half. She's been getting busy from the inside and the outside. Knock it down, Mimi.
Welcome back to the Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament. What a first half it was for Mimi Collins. She had 13 points and 9 rebounds. Isaiah James also with 13 points. It was a big half for Florida State, now trailing 35-20. Fewest points in the first half for Florida State all year. Pam Ward along with Debbie Antonelli. Angel Gray will join us shortly. Let's break down some stuff with Debbie with Food Lions Food for Thought.
Yeah, I thought NC State's execution in the quarter court was excellent, especially their ball screen offense. And watch right here. Here comes the screen, and she's going to come off the screen. And as James comes off the screen, watch Mimi Collins pop to the open space. James drags 2 defenders with her. Collins wide open for triple. Now watch this play right here. River Baldwin's going to set a screen in their horns action, and then she's going to roll right down the middle of the floor. They are late tagging from the weak side. She is wide open. On this play right here, this is going to be Mimi Collins again, sets a screen. James going to come off it. And again, it's a nice job. A lift out of the corner by Brooks opens up the lane to roll. It takes the help away from the strong side, and as long as you stay on the lane line, you can't tag from the weak side.
Let's go over now to Angel Gray on the sidelines.
Well, here are a few things that Coach Wyckoff does not like as far as the stats. 1 assist at half. half. They're out-rebounded by 10. No free throws as well. She said, we have to find ways to dig off the right people. We're not communicating what's on the scouting report. They need to be better in that way as well. But she talked about offensively. Debbie, you talked about the balance you needed to see for Florida State today. The one assist, the spacing, the penetration to kick, they have to do better of knowing when to do that.
I like that first possession, Angel. Ball reversal, inside out, paint touch, bucket.
Foul trouble for Michaela Timpson, who had 3 fouls in just 8 minutes, did not score for Florida State, which is a problem. Their second leading scorer at 14.5 points per game. And how about NC State as a team only committed 1 personal foul? That was Sanaya Rivers, 1 personal foul in the first half.
Oh, but they have 7 turnovers now. And they got to continue to stay plus on the glass, take care of the basketball, and execute without trying to slow the game down. I think they are best when they accelerate through their options. And the horn set definitely worked for them in the first half.
Winner gets Notre Dame tomorrow in the championship game, 1 Eastern time on ESPN. Game day will be here. Baldwin got it. No, it's a travel, and I think Timpson's heart maybe skipped a beat because there was a whistle and she was hoping they didn't call her for her 4th foul. There didn't appear to be any contact. It was a travel on Baldwin.
What a great set by Wes Moore to get a wide open look.
26% to 42%. You see the dominance in the paint, rebounding, just about every other aspect for this team as Latson sees it rolls off. Only Notre Dame is averaging more points per game in the league than Florida State. Just under 80 points per game. Coming off an impressive win against Syracuse when their offense really seemed to be clicking.
Back to horns. I think this was their best series in the first half. They had multiple options in the middle third of the floor off that set.
Shot clock winding down. Collins short. Turnage, who's done a good job on the boards, gets her 8th of the game. Maria Gordon, career high 24 points yesterday against Syracuse.
I like this Turnage decision. Sprint hard, that's not your shot. Get it to the right person, and this is the right person.
Yeah, Latson is usually the best option, but she's finding a tough go of it. She has missed 9 of her 11 shots. And an offensive foul on the moving screen. That's the 2nd foul on the pack. That's on Baldwin. Florida State trying to get to its 3rd title game. NC State has been to 16 previously. They won 3 in a row. That was broken up last year by Virginia Tech. Notre Dame awaits. Impressive win against top seed Virginia Tech, which really showed the effects of no Liz Kitley.
Look at the sagging man-to-man defense by NC State. They're trying to keep Florida State out of the paint.
Timpson falling away. Draws the foul. And smart play by Timpson, because if you're going to go in or lean in, and River Baldwin's really good at drawing charges, she's got 3 fouls. Smart by Timpson to not do that. Collins picked up the foul. Michaela Timpson, known as KK, gets her first point of the game. 15th in the league in scoring, 3rd in rebounding, averaging a double-double, and this is the first time a Seminole has gotten to the line today.
Brooke Wyckoff, the head coach, wore number 21. It's in the rafters at Florida State. And KK Timpson wanted to wear her coach's number. So I guess Coach Wyckoff gave her permission.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta ask for that.
Which Brooke would, you know.
You gotta ask for that.
Quality human being, Brooke Wyckoff. Has been a part of this organization since she hung it up for good from playing professional basketball for a long time. Drafted by Carolyn Peck in the WNBA, when Carolyn was in charge of the late great Orlando Miracle.
Magic.
No, that's the NBA team. They were the Miracle.
Yeah, you're right.
OMG. Almost got it taken away by Rivers. Omaria Gordon, that's her nickname. She's tiny. Turnage not known for her shooting.
I would have a full playbook of Tania Latson right now if I was Florida State, just to try to get him going. You know, open up the floor and let her get some driving lanes, find some driving angles. And she gets a piece of that defensively.
But Collins picked it up. Second offensive rebound was taken away, though, by Bajetti. Nice pass, perfect to Latson.
Their transition game fuels their energy.
But this is what NC State does. They will fuel it right back.
Bajetti lets Latson get ahead of the basketball and does a nice job of putting it on the money. This is a terrific pass, the right time, right on target.
Bajetti has been part of some Finnish national teams. We've talked about this before, a polyglot. She speaks, I think, 6 different languages, something like that, fluently. And almost entirely unaccented English. 14 points now for James.
Sarah Bajetti also just got engaged to a South Carolina men's basketball player, so there's that. Congrats are in order.
Look at you with the scoop.
With the scoop.
Thank you. Bajetti has said that she would like to continue playing basketball back in Europe, perhaps.
South Carolina guys are in a tough game with Mississippi State right now. South Carolina men have been one of the better stories in college basketball this season.
Women a big story too.
Oh yeah, they're pretty big.
That's a charge.
River Baldwin again, 6'5". Not many 6'5s do this. Did she obtain legal guarding position? That's the question. That's the way you referee it. You referee the defense.
Angelica Suffren, Karen Priato, Katie Lukonic. Nice ball fake by James to finish.
She is so good, so crafty. Guard play. It's all about guards.
There's some great guards in this league. Bajetti off the rim. See Hannah Hidalgo, Sonia Citron tomorrow in the championship game with Notre Dame. Against the winner of this one, Rivers. Simpson comes up with the rebound. Gordon backs it out.
NC State trying to ice ball screens, which means keep the ball on one side of the floor. NC State will give Turnage that shot all night.
She's just hitting 29% from distance, 31% overall from the floor. James. Like everybody knows she's going left, right? Left, correct?
She's going left.
Pretty good at it. It's the lead back up to 15.
Bajetti off the flare screen. Nice twist action by Timpson. She sets this up for Bajetti to get a downhill drive. You talk about downhill drivers. We've been saying that about Florida State, but how about Isaiah James? Little ball fake, challenge the shot blocker. The float game is alive for NC State.
Welcome back to Wolfpack with the advantage here in the third quarter, and it's really led by Isaiah James, who has been phenomenal during this tournament, but leading him right now with 19 points. She's playing some of her best basketball this season, and she said it's the reason because of her brother. She said, I am playing something. Her brother, AJ, was tragically lost in an accidental shooting while she was in high school 4 years ago. 4 days later, she dropped 41 points in the state quarterfinals. If you fast forward 4 years later, she said nothing has changed. It motivated me to play harder. When you're playing for something, it makes you hungry. She got the tattoo of her brother on her back and said, no one has my back more than my brother, and is always playing for him, especially today.
Thank you, Angel. That's quite a story. And Isaiah James on the floor today has scored the last 11 points for NC State going back to the second quarter, and has shown what a special player she is. Great season this year, one of the most improved players in the league, career highs just across the board. Bajetti off the back rim, Hayes couldn't quite save it.
NC State's had a couple of errors like that, like not connecting on an inbounds pass, 3 white jerseys standing there, they don't get the rebound. Those are things they got to clean up a little bit. You got to nitpick it right now. It's March.
And I'm sure Coach Westmore will, right?
He sure will in film.
Has done such a terrific job here. There's a good look at Wes, National Coach of the Year back in 2021. Did great things at Tennessee Chattanooga as well.
Good defense by River Baldwin with a block.
NC State took out Duke last night. James again. This time Hayes knocks it back out. Head fake, ball fake, and that's a charge. Bajetti did a good job of getting in the lane of James, one of her few mistakes today. That is her first foul.
Well, she looks at Hayes and says, my bad, I saw you, I missed you, I should have kicked it.
You gotta love that, right, you team?
I do, she's like, my mistake.
River Baldwin with 10 rebounds. Maddie Hayes has 9, as does Mimi Collins, who was 1 rebound away from a double-double. They've had a lot of chances with Florida State misses.
Without Tania Latson on the floor right now, it's a question about who will score, and I'm looking over the bench, I don't see her right now.
Baldwin inside.
I mean, River Baldwin's percentage of scoring when she catches on the right block is much higher than on the left.
Inside 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Zoe Brooks. McDonald's All-American last year in high school. Top 10 overall recruit. Sky's the limit for her. Bajetti got it inside, and Timpson got it off just in the nick of time to get her 3rd and 4th points of the afternoon. She has missed 7 of 8 shots.
You go into horns. Again, they can put multiple players in this horns action.
Oh, we're looking for a cutter. It's Rivers.
River Baldwin on the right block. Look, 2 hard dribbles to the midline, and then she spins over that left shoulder, throws it off the glass, and then Brooks. Every drill you do in practice involves 2 dribbles trying to get to the nail or to the elbow. Defenses are designed to keep you away from those areas. NC State doing a good job of getting there off the bounce.
4 fouls now on Michaela Timpson, who goes to the bench. Rivers at the line. Yesterday against Duke, NC State was 7 of 20 from the free throw line, as we see Latson in the back corridor. And we've been told that she is coming out now. So we saw a shot of her off air in the back. But free throw shooting, much better today. 5 for 5 for the Pack. 7 of 20 yesterday, otherwise they would have run away with that game from Duke.
I mean, I've never seen a shot of Latson, pardon me. Never seen a free throw shooting performance like that yesterday, 7 for 20. I don't expect that to happen again, but NC State has 5 times this season shot less than 50% from the line. Latson looks like she's back on the bench. Got that left brace on her knee, that late injury last season that kept her out of the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. There's a hustle play by Madison Hayes, and that's what she's known for.
Alexis Tucker's turn to pick up a foul for Florida State.
You gotta remember, at one point this season, Madison Hayes was the USBWA which is the United States Basketball Writers Association Player of the Week. It's a national award, so she has certainly contributed to the balance for NC State.
And 5 players, their starters averaging in double figures.
Big rebound by Rivers.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Florida State has only scored 9 points in this quarter, 9 points in the second, and only 11 in the first. Gotta go. Rivers pulls up, hits it. She's got 6. Rimming out, Nia Rivers and the rest of the Wolfpack. Now 10 minutes away from getting into the final to fight for the ACC Championship trophy. NC State in control, up 21 as we head into the fourth quarter. Isaiah James has been brilliant on offense. Their defense also stout. Here's Angel Gray with head coach Wes Moore.
Coach, before the game, you said that you needed to limit how their guards got downhill. You're holding their starting backcourt 6 for 23 to start. How do you feel about that?
I'm real proud of our defense. I mean, this is an explosive, great offensive team. Hold them to 20 points in the first half, and now 9 here in the third quarter. I'm really proud of them. Great effort.
As far as your effort on the offensive end, it just looks like you guys are dialed in, connected in every way. What do you like about the level of execution there?
We're flowing a lot better today than we did yesterday. Of course, it also helps to see the ball go through the net every now and then today. So, proud of that end, too. We're making good decisions. We know when to be patient, when to go ahead and attack. So, again, they're doing a great job.
Proud West. We like it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach Moore has a lot to be proud about today in his team as they are getting closer to playing Notre Dame tomorrow in the final. And here is their resume. Charlie Cream has them as a 3 seed, which means they will get to host, and boy, what an advantage it is to play at Reynolds Coliseum.
Yeah, you know, Wes Moore in his 35 years, 14 different times he's been Conference Coach of the Year. He is an excellent tactician. I think he does an amazing job of coaching his team. And when he's got his offense in front of him, he's like a 6th player on the offensive end. He really understands scheming, and his players get better. We saw that graphic earlier about how much everyone has improved from last year to this year.
Good save by James. Here's Rivers. Mimi Collins.
That's an example of it right there. Ball goes side to side, it goes inside out. Mimi Collins finishes it inside.
And she's got her double-double, 5th of the season, 8th of her career. Latson back on the court, so good to see. She went back into the dressing room, hits that shot. We've been told by Steve Smith, their sports information director, that she was having her knee checked out. We don't know which one, but the good news is she's back on the floor.
NC State moving the ball against the zone. I mean, great ball fake. And that's going right, Pam.
Yes, James very left-handed, but showing her versatility. Here's Latson.
Good switch by Mimi Collins.
Timpson has found everything difficult today. She's been in foul trouble.
It's one of the things about NC State, because they all are a very similar size when they play with Mimi Collins at the 5. They can switch 1 through 5.
Florida State SID is Steve Stone. I think I called him Smith, sorry. That's my default when I can't remember the last name. Steve Stone.
The famous Steve Smith.
Yes, he's the other one, Steve Stone. Brooks with a miss. Sports information director. Boy, they put a lot of hours in. Maddie Smith is tremendous for NC State. Latson with the miss. And you mentioned the improvement for NC State, and part of that credit not just goes to the coaching staff, but the players who stick it out. You know, some of the players didn't get a lot of playing time in the first year or two, stuck it out, got better, worked hard. Now they're getting rewarded with playing time.
Well, I'd say Isaiah James started the last 8 games of the season last year, and it's a good thing for Westmore because you're right, maybe she might not have made it, right? She might have decided she wanted to go somewhere else, but boy, is NC State glad she stayed, and she has been fantastic all season.
Well, Gordon covered a lot of ground there. There was a held ball.
Mimi Collins is having an afternoon. I mean, she's been terrific right here. Works to get position inside. That's the easiest bucket she's had all game. She started the game hitting some mid-range jumpers, even some threes.
Latson with the bucket. She's up to 11 points. Had a conversation with Latson not too long ago, and she said one of her goals is to be National Player of the Year. She's only a sophomore, but someone who takes a lot of pride in her game and puts a lot of time into it. Was the Freshman of the Year last year, had all of her freshman records in the ACC last for all of 1 year,
right.
Because Hannah Hidalgo came in and stole her thunder.
That's how much talent there is here, but this is the thing, like, well, you can't, hard to simulate the speed and the changeability of Tanaya Latson. And so when they get into the NCAA tournament and they play teams that maybe don't have the kind of guard play that the ACC sees in every night, it could be an issue. It could help them advance because they have excellent guard play.
6.5 minutes to go. Brooks with the shot clock winding down. Extra pass. Wow, it still worked for Maddie Hayes.
What a different NC State looking team today, right? Same thing for Florida State, though. I thought they played the best that I'd seen them play last night.
This is their 3rd game in as many days.
4-on-1.
James with the finish. Since the format changed in 2014, no one has won this tournament without getting a double bye. And it looks like Florida State's going to be going home after this game.
The clock is running down, but Hayes has made herself available on the baseline, and then in transition, James.
Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is brought to you by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally. NC State celebrating. Their offense has been beautiful, but maybe a little bit too exuberant. Oosh. That's Madison Hayes over on the right, and Isaiah James caught a little bit of the jaw. And they have a lot to celebrate, Deb Antonelli. Look at these numbers.
Yeah, it is a really nice stat line for NC State that they've had this kind of effort on the glass, and then the points in the paint. They started early in the game. River Baldwin drew a few charges. Mimi Collins knocked down some shots. Again, it's the NC State balance.
NC State foul number 22, Sanaya Rivers, her 2nd personal. First Wolfpack team foul of the period.
23 for James, 15 for Collins. That's 38 points. But you know what's really balanced is their rebounding. Latson goes to the line after the Rivers foul. They have 3 players, NC State, with double-digit rebounds. Hayes has 10, Baldwin has 11, and Mimi Collins with 13.
I mean, it's by design for Westmore. They usually have a really good defensive rebounding percentage because they don't play up the line. They don't trap very often on ball screen coverage. In the middle third, it's drop coverage, and that keeps them underneath the offense, which allows them to box out and get the rebound.
And Isaiah James has 8 rebounds, so she might join the double-digit rebound club in the last 5.5 minutes. Maddie Cox has checked in, number 11 in white. She is a true freshman from Flower Mound, Texas. Might have heard of her sister, Lauren Cox, who had a very good career over at Baylor.
All-American, national champion.
Playing overseas now. Latson over Cox. Brings good size at 6'2", but looks a little taller to me. Get your bring your measuring tape?
I got my tape measure. You know I do.
I don't think Maddie Cox is 6'2". Oh, nice, nice. Unselfish Brooks over to Collins. Mimi's got 17. Season and career high 25 at the University of Virginia earlier this year.
You know, I always say it's who you play, when and where that matters. And considering the first time these two teams met, it was an overtime game. 88-80 win by NC State.
We're back on January 4th in Raleigh. Cox to Rivers. Everything working for the Wolfpack. They've hit their last 4 shots. Latson is firing away. We will see Florida State in the NCAA tournament. NC State, the number 2 seed, less than 4 minutes away from a matchup with the 4th seed Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are finishing this season. They're on a roll now, Dad.
Yeah, they're playing well. They've won 7 in a row. NC State won the first meeting between those two teams earlier this year.
Brooks fouled. 62-37, NC State, moments away from the final.
It's time to cut down some nets and claim some titles. 7 championships on one day, all starting with College Game Day. It's Championship Sunday.
Yep, game day will be live here tomorrow starting at noon Eastern time. Notre Dame, bittersweet day for them. Kylie Watson in the 3rd quarter on this drive. Look at her left leg as it buckles. She was taken out of the game. We've gotten an update. They've confirmed Notre Dame has that Kylie has a knee injury. Her full status is unknown, but Notre Dame says it is unlikely that Watson will play in tomorrow's championship game, which is terrible news. Notre Dame with a convincing win against Virginia Tech. And if you didn't see it, Liz Kitley was on the bench, and as soon as Watson went down, she buried her head in her hands and started crying.
Yeah, it was like traumatic to watch somebody else get hurt. When you just got hurt yourself. Not having Kylie Watson will be an issue for Notre Dame somewhat, because River Baldwin at 6'5" is a big wide body inside, and Kylie Watson would have been able to help, manage some of that matchup.
Yeah, Notre Dame already with a thin bench. Becky Obinma didn't play today because she has a concussion, so a lot's going to be on Natalie Marshall, or Nat Marshall. And there's River Baldwin, one of the bigs you were talking about for NC State, that could cause problems tomorrow for the Irish.
Well, both teams are very capable of playing small, and both teams have really good guard play.
Let's take a look at our star stories for players that have been crushing it, brought to you by Crush. A lot of choices here today, but let's go with James and Collins.
I mean, really solid right from the beginning. James taking what the defense gave her, getting a standing ovation as she departs, helping her team to the finals of the ACC tournament. And then Mimi Collins, wow, what a start. She really launched the Wolfpack early offensively.
Absolutely, and was hitting the boards all day. James leaves just 1 rebound short of a double-double herself. But Jetty, short. Notre Dame, by the way, and you had mentioned it, they only played NC State once this year. It was in mid-February. NC State won in South Bend 59-43. That is the last game that the Irish have lost.
Yeah, they've been playing their best basketball right now, and it's the right time.
Mallory Collier in the game, number 42 for NC State, freshman from Millington, Tennessee. First time we've seen her. So Wes Moore emptying the bench a little bit with this game now in hand as we look forward to Notre Dame and NC State tomorrow.
Oh, it's going to be a good one, Pam. I mean, I think both coaches are at their best when the championship's on the line. And, of course, NC State's won one, and Yale Ivy will be looking for her first in the ACC tournament.
First appearance in the finals.
As a head coach.
Yes, assistant, and She did all right when she was a player. They won in the ACC, and a big cheer for Lacey Steele. When these players who don't get a lot of playing time score, it's always exciting. So our first game today, Notre Dame beat Virginia Tech 82-53. Only time both semifinals have been decided by at least 25 points way back in 1980 in the AIAW days.
Yeah, that NC State won that championship in 1980. That would have been Kay Yau's first title.
Well, that's a long time, buddy. That's what, 44 years ago?
Yeah. NC State has 7. Kay won 4. Wes has won 3.
Maryland had a lot before they
deserted us. Maryland actually won the national championship under Brenda Freese before they won an ACC tournament title.
That's right. But it has been a surprising Saturday here in the semifinals. Florida State with the upset yesterday of Syracuse, where they looked great, but maybe just not enough left in the tank. But NC State has played brilliantly.
Share the ball, good balance, good acceleration through their sets.
Moving screen, gives the ball back to the Seminoles. It is on Mallory Collier. And it was tough too. Timpson picked up those 2 quick fouls. And then her 3rd soon thereafter when she came back in the ball game. Brooks finishes. But we'll see Tanaya Latson and company in the NCAA tournament. Charlie Cream says 9 ACC teams will get in. Snoop Turnage. Now, Lizzie Williamson, number 15. She is a grad transfer from Southern Utah via Adelaide, Australia. There you go, Mallory Collier. Inside a minute to go. We'll have a lot of Wolfpack fans making about an hour-and-a-half trip to Greensboro tomorrow. And now checking in, Jana Ayesa, the true freshman from Cairo, Egypt. Zoe Brooks goes out, standing ovations for Rivers. Ayesa doesn't get a lot of playing time, just 9 games total. There she is, she's from Egypt, wears a hijab when she plays. They'll go crazy if she hits this. Comes from a basketball playing family. Her sister also a good ball player. .58 freshman, walked onto this team, has played with a lot of Egyptian national teams, and she's a chemical engineering major.
Smart.
Come on. But that's great. Wes Moore getting everybody in, including Ayesa, pardon me. Let me get it right. She scored 3 points all year, all against Charlotte. And the Wolfpack faithful rise as one. A dominating performance as they take out Florida State 69-43. We will see them tomorrow, 1 Eastern time, to take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, where they will try to win their 4th championship in the last 5 seasons. It's Notre Dame's first appearance in the final since 2019.
It's going to be rocking in here, Pam. There's going to be a lot of red in here, and not turning the ball over, executing, avoiding game slippage, and getting to the 4th quarter in a competitive game is what I expect. You're going to have to really, really be able to defend each other's offenses. I'm not sure either team can stop the other. I think they're that good.
43 points for Florida State is a season low. Here we go. It is the Irish and the Wolfpack for the 2nd time this season. We will see you on ESPN for that one, as we take a look at our Bojangles Big Bow moments of the game. Isaiah James was great. on both sides of the floor.
You know, Zaya James had total command of the tempo of this game, and usually it's Sanaya Rivers, but it was her defense that led to some early offense, and then her ability to take good shots. I mean, highly efficient. A little ball fake right there to get into the float game. You got to love the energy and the emotion of the Wolfpack this afternoon.
Mimi Collins also was terrific. Let's go over to Angel Gray.
Mimi Collins at halftime told me, we want this more than anything. How do you feel like that was on display throughout this ball game?
Definitely, we definitely wanted it more. You know, what happened last year, we didn't want it to happen this year. So you can see the hunger throughout the team, and it shows today.
5 players come in averaging double figures, but it was on full display today. Everyone had an opportunity to be a part of this type of party. What excited you most about how you guys were able to execute today?
Just executing everything, you know, just keeping a chip on our shoulder. You know, we was predicted 8th in the ACC, but look, hey, we coming for one more game tomorrow.
One more game tomorrow. It's already locked. Notre Dame, NC State. You guys won against them earlier in the season. What are some things that you're looking forward to for Championship Sunday?
You know, they got a dog on Hannah. You know, we're going to focus on her, but, you know, they're a good team. We respect them. You know, we're going to play our game. They're going to play our game. It's going to be a good day.
I'm pretty sure you're high on their scouting report as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and as I talked about the disappointments of last year, they actually lost to Notre Dame in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament last year and then fell in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Looking for different things we look forward to tomorrow.
It should be fun. It'll be rocketing here, and I can't wait to see how Notre Dame chooses to keep NC State in front. Do they stretch their defense? Or how NC State's going to keep Hannah Hidalgo guessing in that ball screen offense.
As James says, Hidalgo is indeed a dog, one of the best players in the entire country. They're waiting for Isaiah to get there and to put that sticker up to officially put them on the wall in the final tomorrow against Notre Dame. And there you go. We'll see the Pack tomorrow against the Irish. So, NC State plays Notre Dame tomorrow, 1 Eastern time on ESPN. We will see you then. 69-43 the final. For Angel Gray and Deb Antonelli, our entire Gray crew, I'm Pam Ward. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's go to Nothing But Net.
Welcome into Nothing But Net. The Ally ACC Women's Final is set. It's NC State taking on Notre Dame. Ooh, what a finish and game it was for the Wolfpack. Looking for their 4th championship in 5 years. A big-time performance from the collective group. And okay, we see you with the gritty. Go ahead. I don't know if any of us could do that. Welcome into the crew. We got Hall of Fame coach Muffin McGraw, Kelly Gramlich, as well as Ivory Latta. I am Justin Walters. It was a big-time performance. Defense was a formula for success for this Wolfpack team. Why were they able to cause so much fits on that end, especially with their length, Kelly?
They are such a good defensive team. I don't think they get enough credit nationally. We talk so much about Duke and their defense, but NC State plays great team defense, and they have such good length that really bothered these Florida State guards. And NC State was talking about that. They understood that was going to be their strength. I thought Florida State looked a bit fatigued as well, but NC State came out there, set the tone defensively, made shots, and just controlled this whole game.
Yeah, they've never allowed Florida State to get anything going. I mean, they couldn't get going in transition because they didn't rebound. They couldn't get going on the half-court side. The length really did bother them, but the shooting was poor. Really, I think the fatigue definitely had to play a little bit of a factor, but NC State really played well.
Yeah, they're a great defensive team. Like you said, their length played a part, but what I looked at was a transition defense. They know that Florida State had those guards that like to attack the paint, and you can see Westmore kept saying, get back, kind of like build a wall, make sure, you know, make them comfortable. In the whole game, Latson had a hard time getting her shot off because they was there, everybody got back, and they did a great job in transition defense.
Points in the paint, 38-18 in favor of NC State, and it's a very glaring number. Coach, it felt like possibly one of the turning points of the game was KK getting in foul trouble because they fed it into Mimi Collins. She was doing it from the inside and the outside. How was she able to be so effective early on?
Well, I thought the game plan was maybe to get her in foul trouble because they went to River Baldwin early and she got a foul, and then she got another one. Timpson wasn't able to kind of establish herself. Then all of a sudden, Mimi Collins starts getting hot, and I think the West said, you know what, forget about River Baldwin for a minute. Let's Let's go to Mimi Collins.
We've seen that feature, Seeing Red, and talking about NC State winning ACC titles here. They won 3 straight before Virginia Tech did last year. And this team, the way they're playing right now, reminds me a little bit of those ACC title teams. Incredibly balanced. You don't necessarily have a superstar. I know Cunane, she's one of the best players in ACC history, but this team is so balanced, similar to those previous teams. That's what Westmore wants. He wants everybody to be able to give you 15 or 20, and they rebound the ball really well. They play together, and similar to Notre Dame, I think they are peaking as well.
It was definitely a total team effort, but Mimi Collins, she played in the open space. She didn't force anything today. The guards was able to track the defense. They was kicking it out to her. She was comfortable. Her shot looked great. Like I said, she didn't force anything, and she was in rhythm. And so once she's in rhythm, I mean, she has a beautiful shot. She's definitely going to knock down those 15-footers.
Yeah, I agree. Stay on that point with Isaiah James. At one stretch, she scored 11 straight points, and we heard from her post game with Angel Gray. They really wanted this game. Why was she able to take this matchup so personal and say, like, you know what, we're not losing?
She is an outstanding guard. I mean, when you watch her play today, she didn't force anything. The game came to her, and she's able to peek out when she can, you know, really go off or take her time. But I guess I can't really explain this young lady. I mean, she scores however she wants. She want to shoot the 3. Like you said, she can create space. She can take you off the dribble. She's quick. She pretty much did whatever she wanted to do today.
Well, she can do it all, and that's what makes her really tough to guard. She can shoot the 3, but she has a really quick first step and a great handle too, and she's a good finisher at the rim. So you have to respect the 3 ball, and that's where she gets that one dribble pull up, or she attacks and kicks, and just the improvements in her game are phenomenal. We talk a lot about Virginia Tech and their player development. I think we have to talk about NC State and their player development and what Westmore has done, because every single one of these players has gotten better. And Isaiah James, not just the basketball side, but it feels, and I'd love to know more about what she did in the offseason. I think we're going to talk to her soon.
Yeah,
we are.
But it feels like she switched her leadership mindset differently this year. Last year, at times, she wasn't a leader, and she wasn't really called upon to do as much. But she has transformed into kind of a different kind of leader now, Coach.
You know, sometimes I think you have to go through a little adversity. I mean, they really were up and down last year. Looked like they didn't have great chemistry. Things really weren't working. So when you come back after that season and you look and you go, we got to make a change. Yeah. You know, and we're going to do it. It's going to start with me. It looked like everybody looked in the mirror and said, I got to get better. I got to buy in, get back to what we can do, and that's defense.
We're looking forward to welcoming Isaiah James to this set. But let's take a look now at who is next for NC State, and that is Notre Dame. The Wolfpack back in the finals for the first time since 2022. As for Notre Dame, they were taking on Virginia Tech. The 4 seed versus the 1 seed. Liz Kitley here was unable to go out for the rest of the tournament. Hannah Hidalgo had herself a decent game, but on the defensive end, Coach, you really had the Fighting Irish stepping up and holding them to a lowest scoring first half.
Notre Dame's defense has really improved, both the on-the-ball defense, which I think is way better, and their help defense, I think, has gotten better. It can still improve a little bit, but I think they're understanding now that they have got to play better defense to win.
Spoken like a true coach. It can still improve a little bit.
Yeah, but that third quarter, Kelly, it really stood out. A 19-2 run by Fighting Irish.
A very mature response for Notre Dame to come out of halftime and not let what happened yesterday against Louisville happen again. They absolutely put the Hokies away.
Yeah, and then Anna DeWolf knocks down that basket there. Kylie Watson doing the honors. We'll have the discussion shortly about her. Notre Dame wins this 82-53, and it's all thanks to the Big Three averaging 56 points per game in the first 2 games of this tournament. That is more than double the rest of the team. The Irish 7-0 when at least 2 of their Big Three reach 20 or more points. So here's a look at the updated bracket. Notre Dame versus NC State. That is the championship match. It is going down on ESPN at 1 p.m. Notre Dame gets there after a big-time victory against Virginia Tech. And then as we just saw, NC State beating FSU. We have a new guest. We said Isaiah James was coming here, but it's the Lady Wolfpack. I would get some words from you, but we don't have you mic'd up. We appreciate you making the time.
Are you just speechless with the victory? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's just pouring out with emotions. Yeah. We see it.
Where's your husband today? I haven't seen him.
Oh,
at the house.
Oh, that's home.
Hey,
oh, you engaged.
I love how we all got that.
Married?
If this was charades, like, look at that. Good answer. Family Feud. Well, thank you for making the time, but let's speak about Notre Dame. Coach, we're speaking about how much the defense has improved throughout this season. What stood out to you today on how they got it done on that end?
I think better team defense, but also awareness. Sometimes it's so frustrating. You go, like, how did she get so open? You know, they set the ball screen, and we forgot to double team. You didn't force her the way you were supposed to. Everybody was connected today on the same page. They all knew Amor's the key. We got to stop her. And then we're going to go out and rotate, but Virginia Tech really struggled with everybody else.
They did. I think a lot of this does, well, not a lot of it. I think Notre Dame's a great defensive team, but Virginia Tech, of course, just didn't have it. They couldn't make shots. Amor had to do so much, and you're without Liz Kitley. You're without a generational player. But focusing on Notre Dame, Maddie Westbeld told us in that interview, we had to look back into our identity as a defensive team, and that starts with Hannah. And I think what you've really seen for Notre Dame since the NC State loss, by the way, which is really interesting, they haven't lost since then in February, it feels like this team defensively is matching Hannah's intensity. And Hannah brings that defensive intensity every single night. Even if she's not making shots, which has happened a few times here, she brings the defensive intensity. And I think you're seeing that now from Westbeld and Citron. These other players have matched it, and now they're playing like a great defensive team.
When you see them play, Hannah pretty much makes, on the defensive side, everybody's job easy. Because she takes the load because the way she plays with the intensity, the energy. So, yes, if she does get beat, they are there to help her. And like you said, we seen a clip where she helped her own self. She got beat, got back.
She was help side.
She was a help side, but like you said, defense is a mentality. You got to want to play defense, and when they play defense like that, they got the players that go back on the offensive end to score.
Notre Dame, 7 straight wins. You mentioned a great point, Kelly. They haven't lost since that NC State game, but when they play tomorrow, it's most likely a different matchup. That is because Kylie Watson, we heard, she got injured in the third quarter. She's unlikely to suit up. It is also a big point to note that Notre Dame is last in the conference when it comes to bench points. How concerned are you, and who is possibly a player you think could fill that void?
Yeah, I'm honestly upset to see Kylie Watson get hurt, and it's just such a bummer because we've had injuries really affect this tournament, and I hate to see it, and I hope she's okay, and I hope her rehab is going to go well with whatever injury it is, but it's a big difference for NC State because NC State has River Baldwin, and now Kylie Watson, who was playing really well for Notre Dame, is not there. Nat Marshall, who is the backup post player, is going to have to play a lot. Notre Dame, their numbers are slim. NC State has more depth for sure, but Notre Dame's going to have to call on Nat Marshall to pick it up, probably start in place of Kylie Watson and guard River Baldwin.
And I think she'll be ready to answer that call, but can she do it for 40 minutes?
Right.
Probably
and foul
not.
trouble. That becomes an issue.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to put Maddie Westbeld at the 5 at some point. She's going to have to guard River Baldwin. That is a difficult matchup. Notre Dame's going to have to play zone.
How about what we have seen from NC State's Isaiah James this season? Ivory Latta, of course, she's having a good time. I mean, so hard to get anybody to come out of their shell when you got Ivory sitting next to you. We'll send it back to Greensboro as they've got one of the stars of the game standing by.
Oh, welcome back to Greensboro. NC State on to the next. Isaiah James, a team high 23 points. She was cooking them up, a 69-43 win. The Wolfpack looking for their 4th championship in 5 years. Let's welcome that star to the set because we know lefties just make it look so smooth.
So easy, so easy.
So Isaiah, we were speaking about this off camera. How much pride did your team take in this matchup on the defensive end to stop FSU's pace of play?
You know, so much pride. Coach Moore always talk about play defense all 40 minutes, so that's what we did. We knew we had to stop Blatson and Gordon as well, so I think we did the best we can.
Isaiah, you were here as a freshman on the bench while NC State was playing.
Yes.
What did you learn from that experience?
You know, just being a sponge, you know, playing under people like Alicia Kunane, you know, Jada Boyd, Jakia Brown-Turner, just people like that, and getting all the information I can made me the player I am today.
Isaiah, for some reason, you didn't win Most Improved. I voted for you, okay? I'm going to tell you that. But you improved so much from last year to this year. The numbers speak for themselves, but also your confidence, I feel like, is on a different level. What kind of work did you put in the offseason?
You know, just keeping a chip on my shoulder, you know, just proving people wrong. You know, people doubted me sometimes, and just staying in the gym, staying locked in, not worried about the media or anything like that, and just focus on who I am and how can I contribute to my team. And yeah, it worked out for me very well.
It did work out.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was sitting here watching, and I watch you all year. You played exceptionally well. It's a play that you did when you faked the ball to the corner, and you did the floater.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: do you approach every game? And I ask somebody else, did you approach every game as if you're the best player every time you step on the floor?
I sure do. I play like it's my last game. You know, you got to put everything out there on every court, every time, everything.
Zaya, what's different about this team? Because Kelly was speaking about your personal improvements, but it's all across the board.
Yes.
Whether it's you, Sanaya, everyone has improved their points per game in addition to just a defensive mentality.
Yes.
What was the key to that?
It's a player-led team. You know, we listen to Coach Moore as well, but we also come together as a team and see what we can do on the court. Because, you know, Coach Moore's not out there to play for us. We're out there, you know. So just listen to each other and see how see how each other work with each other, and it played out well.
I don't pay any attention to the media either. I think that's a really good thing to do. But, you know, when you're looking at your game, what do you want people to be talking about? Like, what are you most proud of about your game? Is it the driving, the threes? What is it?
Just getting downhill, I say. You know, my threes are coming along very well, but just more attacking. I'm trying to attack more.
As a coach so eloquently put, you were on that team that won it a couple of years ago here in Greensboro. And I think this team reminds me a little bit of that team. Player-led. I love that you bring that up. Very balanced. Do you think that this team has a little bit of what that team had?
Definitely. I think we probably can have more than what we have. You know, Coach Moore is what he say, we're not satisfied as what we've been doing a couple of weeks. So I think this game is going to come around for us. I definitely believe that.
Watching you ladies play, it just looked like y'all have really great chemistry. Seeing y'all dance on the sideline.
Yes.
What did y'all do to prepare to get that chemistry, like off the court things?
You know, just taking the time in the locker room, talking to each other, listening to each other's feelings, and, you know, just playing well, coming to practice 100% every day, and just the chemistry, the bond, you can see it. It's just there.
All right, Isaiah, very quickly before we let you go.
Yes.
Who's the first-round pick when it comes to best dancer on the Wolfpack?
I'm going to say myself. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, you got to hit that Dougie all the time.
You saw the gritty, you saw all of that? Okay. And then after that, you said probably Sanaya.
Sanaya, definitely. I got to give it to my twin. Yeah, that's my twin.
Not Coach Moore?
Coach Moore, you know, he going to do it.
We're going to work on those dancing skills for Coach Moore.
Coach Moore's going to get it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
You have plenty of time. We appreciate it. Isaiah James, one of the stars of the Wolfpack. They're going to be taking on Notre Dame tomorrow in the championship game at 1 p.m. Let's take a look at what today's wins and victories mean for both teams, because entering today, Charlie Cream is projecting 9 teams from the ACC making the NCAA tournament. That is tied with the SEC for the most of any conference. Charlie Cream says Notre Dame still has a shot at a top 3 seed if they win the ACC tournament. Of course, they're looking for their first championship since 2019. But let's focus on the teams that are still alive here in Greensboro, and that is going to be Notre Dame and NC State. It's an exciting matchup. It's going to be showing down on ESPN at 1 p.m. Once again, a double-bye team is going to win the championship here in Greensboro. The last team these two played, it was a victory by NC State in the regular season, but worth noting, the Fighting Irish have won 7 straight games. Coach, when we look at the stats from that game, it was a 16-2 start from the Wolfpack. How important is it for the Fighting Irish to get out to a fast start in this?
Well, they had a number of games in a row where they just didn't come out of the locker room well, and they got down in every game. They managed to win a couple of them, but that NC State game, that was really the worst that they looked. They never got back, and NC State only ended up scoring 58 or 59 points, so it wasn't like the rest of the game was pretty even. So they looked like in this tournament they figured out a way to get out of the gate and play better, and that's what they need to do.
They've been a lot better offensively than that game. They've just been a lot better, period, since that game. That was February 15th, and it feels like that was a turning point for Notre Dame. As Justin said, they haven't lost since that loss to NC State, and they haven't really had a bad start since. It seems like they've remedied that and that issue, but if you get down 16-2, I'll tell you this, if you get down 16-2 in this building tomorrow with all the red, it's a wrap. Shut it down. The Wolfpack are winning. They cannot afford to do that.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Notre Dame just got to come out and set the tone like they did. Set the tone. Set the tone with Maddie. I mean, she is really feeling it. I mean, you can see it in her face. Even when she was up here, I was trying to get her to smile, but I understand job's not finished. And she understands that, too. Start off with her. You know, sometimes Hannah can get a little, you know, not out of control, but try to do a little too much. It's going to be hard for her when you got a 6'2" Sanaya Rivers guarding you, and all of that guards a bit. So just take your time. Notre Dame get out a good start. It's definitely going to be a great game.
I love when we spoke to Zaya. She said they haven't worried about the media, specifically her. Do you love the way that this NC NC State team is playing right now with confidence on the defensive end, Kelly?
Well, I don't love that Isaiah's not watching our show. If she's not worrying about the media,
she said everyone else but nothing but net crew.
I understand. No, I love the mindset that this NC State team has. They're very much an underdog mentality, and they are an underdog. They were picked 8th. Nobody thought they were going to be that good. We all respect the job that Wes Moore can do any given day, but we weren't in the gym every day in the summer. We didn't see how much every one of these players had improved. So I thought 8 was kind of fair. I think I maybe had them 6 or 7. That's just reality. But they have proved everybody wrong, and that's what you have to do, coaches, is buy into that and keep that chip on your shoulder. Even when you rose up as high as number 3 in the country and beat Colorado and beat UConn, they've maintained that chip, which has really helped them.
Yeah, it really has. And I think we're in a situation for this game where both teams coming off playing twice in a row. Notre Dame a little bit now without Watson. Yeah. That's going to be one less body. They don't have that many to lose. But I worry, okay, Maddie Westbelt, she plays the 5. River Baldwin, you going to guard her on the perimeter? You going to be chasing her around if she's coming off screens and shooting threes? So that they could use that as an advantage when they play zone at the other end.
And that's where I think NC State, which did some of that today, they'll play Mimi Collins at the 5. So could both teams go small? The coaching chess match is going to be really interesting because Collins is one of the 4s in the league that can really guard Westbelt. Same body type. But then what do you do with Baldwin? Because when you flip it around, Baldwin can't guard Westbelt on the perimeter.
Absolutely. Cannot wait for the big showdown. NC State looking for their first championships 2022. Notre Dame looking for their first championship since 2019. Of course, there's only one place for the pregame. That is right here in Greensboro, ACC Network. It starts at noon. Make sure you lock in. And, of course, we're going to have the postgame coverage at 3 p.m. Eastern. It is going to be Kelsey Riggs and the crew.